What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. We're going to talk some Houston Rockets. Shams tweeted out 2 days ago that the Houston Rockets and center Demarcus Cousins are planning to part ways in the coming days. Sources tell The Athletic, the stadium. And he also says that Houston wants to go smaller, younger, in front court when Christian Wood returns. And this allows Cousins to find an opportunity elsewhere. But then I saw a tweet from something that Silas said that Cousins still plans on playing here. So we're not going to sit him out or anything. So what are y'all's instant reactions on this whole news?
I feel like what's happening is maybe they're trying to put maybe a trade package together with Cousins. I don't think anybody would trade for him like straight up or anything, but maybe they were gonna add him into like a trade, maybe PJ Tucker to the Lakers, maybe like PJ and Cousins, maybe for uh, that Catavius Pope, whatever his name is. Maybe they play like that or something, or maybe Caruso or something like that. I feel like they're just trying to get a trade package with him. I don't feel like it's like he's gonna stay like like it's all rumors at this point or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is a move by the Houston Rockets to continue the sort of rebuild that they're doing. I think that they're probably going to package him, like you said, with another player, like PJ Tucker or maybe Victor Oladipo. Try to get some more young assets and maybe some first round picks, just to get younger and also stack up that draft pick stock that they're starting to build.
Yeah, what's so weird to me is because I feel like Boogie kind of chose Houston because of John Wall. That John Wall was going to be here because we kind of saw it that at the beginning of his at the one of the first press conferences that he's done. They're like, "Did you already know that John Wall was coming to Houston?" He's like, "Maybe," or something like y'all already know or something like that. So it's kind of I don't know how John Wall is feeling right now. I really hope he's okay with it. I mean, it seems pretty mutual. I don't think the Rockets are doing wrong by Boogie or vice versa or whatnot. Obviously, I feel like it's obviously mutual, but I feel like it is probably possible that the Rockets might release Boogie so he can get to choose wherever he wants to, or the Rockets can just work together with Boogie to get some deal done. Obviously, to give Boogie gives the Rockets a list of destinations he wants to go to, and then we work something out. But what sucks is that Boogie has done pretty well these past few games. He and every time his number has been called upon to step up, he always does, right? And whenever Christian Wood gets injured, Boogie has stepped it up. And the last game versus Philadelphia, had 19 points. Against Washington, he had 12, 10 against the Knicks, 16 against Miami, and so he's getting those double-digit numbers. And so Boogie has shown that he still has that juice in him. Obviously, not as consistent as he would probably like it to be, but yeah, just a whole interesting situation. I thought Boogie was going to be here for the whole season.
Yeah, I feel like the Rockets are doing a good thing. Boogie probably doesn't want to tank here. He probably wants to go to a contender, play some good, valuable minutes, maybe as a backup or something. And I think it was a really good thing on the Rockets' part to give him the guarantee on his contract. It was like $2.1 million or something like that. I feel like that was a very, I guess, sportsmanship kind of move. I guess I don't know if sportsmanship the right word, something like that. I feel like that was a really good move for the Rockets. And then to let him, or to release him and let him choose a destination, I feel like Rockets are doing him a really good thing. So yeah.
Yeah, like you said, guaranteeing Demarcus Cousins' contract. That's a nice move by the Houston Rockets organization. I think in the offseason, a similar thing happened with the Mavericks and JJ Barea. Them giving JJ the last year of his contract before trading him or releasing him or whatever. But as far as Demarcus Cousins goes, I also thought that he would be here for at least the end of the season because of the whole Harden situation. We weren't exactly sure at that time whether we could hold on to him for the season, and even after Harden was gone, I thought maybe because of that relationship between John Wall and Boogie Cousins, I thought that maybe they could just stick together for the end of the season. But I feel like this was the right move for the Houston Rockets since the team is trying to get younger and try to rebuild their core. I think letting go of Boogie Cousins is the right move. But I was also kind of hoping that he would stay until the end of the season.
Yeah, I also wanted to talk about that second part of that tweet that I read from Shams, where he said that Houston wants to go smaller, with Christian Wood. So that's kind of interesting because we were a small ball team last year. That's what we were known for, and now we're kind of going back to that play style. So I thought that was pretty interesting too because it was effective. There was moments where it was pretty effective, but you have to have the right personnel for it. That's how those things work. and so I'm thinking that Rockets make a like really try to get someone like John Collins. I feel like Collins will work really good with Christian Wood, and I feel like it will be a pairing made in heaven, in my opinion. But what do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I really like John Collins. He's very similar to Wood. He's a decent shooter, not as good as Wood in my opinion, but can do pretty much anything that Wood can do. They complement each other very well. Both can play power forward or center. And then I feel like if they get Collins, maybe they're trying to form that future trio of Wood, John Collins, and then maybe Kevin Porter Jr. Bring him up, maybe form those three. Especially if
Mhm.
they want to get KPJ playing as a point guard, as a true point guard, like the rumors have said. So it could be a future three of those three.
Yeah, the John Collins rumors are very interesting. He's a very very talented young player in Atlanta. And, there are rumors that he's not very happy alongside Trey Young, and coming to Houston would really help his career sort of I guess break out. And I would be interested in seeing what a Wood and Collins front court does. Offensively, they're going to be very very talented. The question is defensively, how would a Wood Collins front court do on the defensive side of the ball? And when you also throw in Kevin Porter Jr. into that mix, you also sort of wonder how the defense of this future team is going to look. But I think for now, the prospect of having John Collins and Christian Wood in the front court together, just their offensive talent, is enough of a reason for the Rockets to try to trade for John Collins.
Yeah, and also the Rockets called up a young center from the G League. Wait, can y'all remind me what his name is?
I think it's like Patton or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I don't know his
Patton,
first name. It's
Patton.
Patton.
Yeah, Patton. I think he's shown some flashes in the G League, and obviously Silas and the whole coaching staff is going to do a good job in giving him the help he needs. And maybe you never know, he could be a pretty good asset for us in the future. So I mean, the future's still bright, but this whole cutting Boogie thing kind of like shows that we're the age that upon us. Like, kind of makes you wonder, like, whether how long John Wall is going to be here. Because I know John Wall wanted to really play with Boogie, at Houston. So, like, I want to ask y'all this: like, do y'all think that John Wall is in the Rockets' long term plans?
I mean, in my opinion, personally, what is he, 31 or something like that?
Or
I don't think it would be in the long term plans, but from the I think his name is like Stephen Ikoa on Twitter or something like that. I think he put out a tweet earlier today that said they want to put KPJ and John Wall together, like Harden and CP3, like a similar thing like that. So maybe the Rockets value him as a long term piece, but in my opinion, I don't think so. His contract is too big. I mean, obviously you could probably give him a new contract, smaller contract when his contract is up, but in my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna be here for the long.
Yeah, I also don't think John Wall is probably going to be a part of this team's long term plan. Obviously, I would love for him to be on the team for longer as the sort of veteran mentor for the team, sort of like what Chris Paul did in OKC last season with Shea and all those guys. I would love for John Wall to do the same in Houston with Christian Wood and Kevin Porter Jr. and whoever other young assets we acquire. But unfortunately, I think that his contract is just too big for that, and Houston needs to get rid of that as fast as possible. So I don't see John Wall being on this team past this season. Although I would love for him to stay, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and yeah, on my take on that, I feel like he kind of like kind of crowned himself as the franchise guy for the Rockets. So it'd kind of be a little awkward if we were to like trade him. I don't know, because I know John Wall. He's always been talking about like loyalty, how the city been caring about him, like things like that. He wanted someone to trust him, believe in him, and things like that. So I don't think it probably happens this year, but who knows? But yeah, he doesn't really fit the whole timeline that we're at, but it'll be interesting to see. And the final question I want to ask y'all is, where do you think Boogie's going to land? Do you think he's going to join like obviously going to be a contender most likely? I'm thinking either Lakers, Warriors, but what do y'all think?
In my opinion, I think it goes to the Nets to put Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Harden. It's either the Nets or maybe Miami. Miami, maybe he could back up Abadiah or Brandon
Adebayo.
Booker. Yeah, him. And then in New York, he could back up DeAndre Jordan, maybe. So I think he's going to go to either one of those two teams. I don't think he goes back to the Lakers for one. I think they don't have the cap space. I mean, obviously they can make the cap for him, but I don't think I think the Lakers didn't have interest in him. I think
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
joined.
they did. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think Boogie just he wants to go to probably New York. In my opinion.
I think that contrary to what you said, I think he might actually go to the Lakers because if you look at the way that the Lakers are playing right now, Marcus Gasol he's not been great, and so I think that they might be interested in another center. But for Boogie Cousins, I mean, all of these potential fits is just there aren't any like perfect fits for a guy like Boogie Cousins. Well, one of the main reasons is because he hasn't been playing great. But if you look in Brooklyn, he doesn't help them in that he is also a defensive liability more now than he's ever been in his career. And his 3-point shooting hasn't been all that great to go along with what they've been running over there. And as far as Miami goes, they have a good number of centers in their lineup. They already have Adebayo. They have Kelly Olynyk, who plays some backup center. You have Myers Leonard. I don't know. It's very interesting situation with Boogie Cousins, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. But I don't think there's really like a perfect fit for Boogie Cousins anywhere on a big time title contender.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts about Boogie, this whole situation, him leaving the Rockets, and where do you think he's going to end up? And that's pretty much it for the video. Thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Peace.
For this life I cannot change.